What is up, my ponios? Andy with Andy Vlogs. Excited to share with you guys this content. Here's the title suggests. We're gonna do a comparison video here. I talked about it a lot on my Nomad review. If you want to check that out, check it up above. But nonetheless, as the title suggests, we're gonna be going over a comparison of the Apple Leather versus the Nomad Leather for your 13 Pro Max. Now, this can also relate to your 13, which does have the same variants. Nonetheless, because this is my daily driver, I want to show you guys what it's like. This is the 1TB 13 Pro Max. If you want to check out that review, up in the cards as well. Just so you guys know here, I am not sponsored by either of these companies. I purchased this with my own money, so you know that this review and this comparison is genuine. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go over these cases here specifically, go over the insides, the outsides, the pros and the cons. Then we'll show you what they look like a little bit aged, and then what the Nomad looks like the most aged. I've had this Nomad case on my 12 Pro Max for about 6 months. I've had this for about 2 weeks, so you can kind of see the differences here. It already appears to be aged with the oils from my fingers. Nonetheless, these are 2 brand new cases, and I've already bumped it. Dang, seriously? Well, you can tell here that it does get bumped and the leather does kind of move. Man, you just can't have nice things nowadays. All right, let's go ahead and separate these away. Now, you're probably thinking, Andy, you've got 2 13 Pro Maxes? No, this is the 12 Pro Max. It's the same size, same chassis, same everything except for the lens itself. This is the 13 Pro Max, but you can see they fit each other. So having them on the case here, we're going to go and give you the side-by-side. Looking at it, first and foremost, the Apple variant of the leather is just gouging out. Like, look at that. That just sticks right out here. And that's not because of this lens array. It's just really, really tall right here. So in my opinion, I feel like that this, after some time, could get some beating. However, it is not leather. If you can see, it is a plastic cutout that's pushed into the leather here, which should provide you some stability, some foundational support. Looking at the Nomad here, you can clearly see that this is not leather either. It's a hard plastic. Looking at the Nomad variant here, you can see that they're about the same size. As far as sticking out, it just feels like a little bit more because of how, you know, how far this goes in right there. With that said, if you look at it, these cases are sporting genuine leather. I don't know where the leather derives, but it is very, very pretty, very beautiful. You can obviously tell that the Apple's been treated because of the coloring. You can see that the Apple has embossed in there their little logo. Around the top here, you're going to notice all the way around the phone that the Nomad only has the leather go to this edge. So you're getting less leather for your money. If that's important to you guys, then you'll probably want to consider the Apple variant because it actually wraps all the way around, all the way into the case, which will show you. That to me makes more sense. That's one of my big gripes for Nomad is they kind of cut corners here. You get less leather. You know, you get less of that flare than you would on the Apple variant. Nonetheless, the buttons are very, very clicky on both ends. I think they're engineered very, very good. You've got the punch out for the do not disturb buttons, which are about the same size. The Apple version, you know, punched out leather all the way around, whereas this is plastic. Coming around the bottom here, this is one plus on the Nomad side. Nomad has these little tiny lips where you can put a little wrist strap, whereas Apple does not. I mean, I guess you technically could try to put it in between these two, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's not a good idea. I love having a wrist strap because, you know, these things are expensive. You want to have comfort and security. You want to be able to hold it when you're videoing, and Nomad has got you back there. You can see that it's punched out here on the Apple version. The leather wraps all the way around. You got the speaker grills that show and whatnot. Coming around the back side here where you've got the power button, same kind of a thing. Both of them have power buttons, engineered a little bit different. There are some grooves on the Nomad, whereas on the Apple there are no grooves. But they're both grippy nonetheless. You're not going to lose any grip on them. Before we pull out the phones here from the cases, I wanted to show you one thing that the Apple Leather has. It's actually really cool. Just watch. It's got a MagSafe animation. It shows you here that you've got a leather MagSafe case, and it shows the color with which that you're on. I think that's a really fun touch. Let's go ahead and test if they're MagSafe capable. Obviously, the Apple MagSafe power bank here is going to have the insignia show. It's going to have the animation, obviously. Let's go ahead and switch it over to the other case, show what that looks like. There's the animation. Both of them are showing it. regardless of this being the Apple Leather and the Nomad. I've got a third party here. This is iWALK. This company reached out to me some time ago when I was doing the 12 Pro Max, and I reviewed this. If you want to check this out, you can up above in the cards. Nonetheless, this is not a paid advertisement. They just gave this to me for free. With that said, let's go ahead and place it on here. Push the button. It's got a little ring to hold it up and a button to show you the LED. There's the animation. It doesn't show you that it's got a MagSafe down below because this is a third-party aftermarket. Nonetheless, you can see here how much it's charging. It holds up. Even this beefy phone, for the most part, you got to get the right angle. Let's go ahead and show you here now on the Apple side. Same MagSafe animation. Let's go ahead and take the cases off now and inspect the inside. In my comparison videos, I like to weigh my products, and so we're going to go ahead and weigh first and foremost the Apple version of the leather. It's 1.1 ounces. Nomad, 1.5. So you can see that with less leather, you've got more bulk, 0.4 of an ounce, bit greater on the Nomad as opposed to the Apple, if that means something to you. Alright, both of these products here are MagSafe specific, meaning that they want you to focus on using MagSafe. So both of them have the MagSafe insert there. You can use any of the MagSafe products and it should be able to work, like I demonstrated. Grabbing the Apple version here, you can see that it's lined with like this felt suede. It is very, very nice to the touch. It changes color as you move it. And this is, you know, supposed to cushion your phone and make it nice. As you can see, I've had it on for some time, and it feels like some of the suede is kind of bunching up. So maybe with moisture and time in your pocket and whatnot, this could deteriorate as it appears. Around the corners, you can see here that there is no engineering specific to trying to protect your phone. It just goes flush here, and it feels really light. It does have a very, very strong foundation here. Nonetheless, on most phones that are like this, you want to make sure you have some engineering. In other words, like some pockets that are engineered into here so that when your phone pushes up against it, it creates a natural air bubble so that it will reduce the probability of your phone cracking. It's supposed to help with impact, right? The idea here is that air that's in a pressurized space is going to provide some more protection rather than it being flush. That's not the case here. No pun intended. As you can see here further on, that the case does wrap all the way into the inside and then it's glued underneath the suede here. I think it's remarkably engineered, to be honest. Moving over to the Nomad, obviously we went over here that the leather doesn't wrap all the way around. You can see that this is a pain point. This is a point for, you know, where you'll get dings and bumps and whatnot. Nonetheless, it is a hardened plastic here, and the reason being is because I think they wanted to engineer in the inside here what I was talking about. You got these little pockets here that are going to create, you know, pressurized areas where if there is an impact, it's just going to reduce the probability of having a crack, meaning that it's going to protect you. You want to make sure that your probability is low to break the phone. Nonetheless, I think Nomad had this in mind when they engineered this. This isn't special though. Most phones do this. It's just weird that Apple didn't. There's probably great debate on why. This is kind of a cork feeling felt here that it's lined with. It's not bad. It is a little cushiony, which is fine, similar to the Apple version. Nonetheless, I was thinking that you could have an insert here if you wanted to have like a moment lens or like a shift can lens insert. Nonetheless, I'm not seeing that it is compatible like the other one. All right, this case is brand new here, and this one is about 2 weeks old. So you can already tell that there is some discoloration, which is fine. That's what you want. You want an aged leather. It looks really good. It matches your lifestyle. I think is really cool. Nonetheless, this was the iPhone 13 that I was using with as my daily driver for 2 weeks. And there's no dings, there's no issues. I slid it in and out of my pocket. It ran into keys, all that good stuff. And it still looks good. There is some leather that is kind of bunching right here. I don't know what that's from. I didn't drop it, but nonetheless, that might be a point of concern because you have the leather wrapping all the way around. If you have enough pressure and push it this way, you could have leather that bunches up. Nonetheless, I think it looks really good when it's starting to age. Let's look at a more extreme example of the aging of the leather. I've had this for over 6 months now. You can check out the review for the 12 Pro Max. It's very similar as far as the build and the quality, but let's look at the aging here. I've got divots, I've got bumps, I've got lots of like oil all throughout it. And to be honest, this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted something that's timeless, that looks really, really cool. When you pull it out, it turns heads for the most part. One gripe that I have is that the leather only wraps around to this corner right here. And it is a point of contention that I have with Nomad. There are a bunch of divots that have happened here that have kind of smoothed out over time. This corner here has attracted a lot of bumps and scrapes, and hopefully this seam right here keeps. One thing that I like about the Apple is it wraps all the way around, which gives you, that look all the way around your case. Nonetheless, we noticed that there was a little bit of bunching going on, and I don't know if that's going to be a direct result of the way that they've decided to design it. It looks really good aged. It looks really good clean. You shouldn't fret. I've already bumped it here. I've already got a little scratch, but that's to be desired. Let's talk about pricing here. Both of them are priced at the exact same price, give or take about $1. This is $59.99. This is $59 even. So they're priced at the exact same amount. Nonetheless, you'll be the one to decide which one is worth it to you. For me, I think it comes down to the Nomad. I really like how this aged. I don't like how this wraps around and may have the bunching here. I don't like how you don't have the little wrist strap or the ability to put potentially any lens mounts here. I do like that the Apple has that little insignia, but how many times are you going to take your case out? Hardly any. I'm going to keep it on all the time, and so I'm going to make sure, for me, it's not a big deal breaker. Alright, my Pugnios, that's about it here. There's the comparison, pros and cons on each side. I personally am going to go with the Nomad, like I said, because I like having that wrist strap when I'm filming and vlogging. So many times have I been bumped, and this thing has caught it. It's fantastic. It is a little bit more heavy. It is a little bit bulkier, as we showed with the weight and whatnot. Nonetheless, I like how it ages. I like how it looks, despite having the corner here being, a magnet for getting bumped and whatnot. With that said, guys, let me know which one you would choose here. If you want the Apple leather or if you want the Nomad leather, both of them down below will be in the links in the description for you guys to check out. I appreciate you considering that. My name is Andy with Andy Vlogs. Hit that subscribe button. Like if you want to see more. I'll see you on the next one.